everyone. The board has been in a work session, and we are now reconvening to our regular session. So if you would, stand and join me for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you so much. We have a little bit of a special agenda tonight, but we will start with something very mundane. Can I get a motion to approve some minutes?
So moved.
Second.
Any conversation? Seeing none. Mr. Bettman?
Mr. Orr?
Yes.
Mr. Steele?
Yes.
Mrs. Yingling?
Yes.
Mr. Galvin?
Yes.
Mrs. Apache?
Yes.
5-0.
You're gonna let Connie motion or second everything tonight.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's a good call. Thank you, Vice President Steele. So now we've reached item number 5, Superintendent's presentations. Dr. Cooper.
Thank you so much. We have a special evening, as President Orr mentioned tonight. The first, each month we do a wayfinding video. The wayfinding video is to help people to take a closer look into what's going on in the district, to help them understand and appreciate all the ins and outs and to make connections. And so Tracy and her team have put together another wonderful wayfinding video to highlight something that some of our students are going to be interested in tonight. It is how snow days happen behind the scenes.
Yes, our snow day VIPs, and we're very grateful for the people who, Dr. Cooper's one of those people on a snow day, and now Mr. Messer and some other folks who are getting up early making that call, but the real VIPs are the folks who are in this video who kind of make sure, whether we get that snow day or not, that schools are safe.
When the forecast calls for snow, most of us start dreaming of cocoa, cozy blankets, and maybe, just maybe, a snow day. But while Mason sleeps, a very special group of Comets bundles up and heads out. Our snow day VIPs, Mason City Schools maintenance crew. These superheroes swap capes for Carhartts, and before the sun even thinks about rising, they're already clearing parking lots. Basically 41 football fields of snow, plowed, pushed, cleared, and made safe. Every path keeps a student, staff member, or family sure-footed. And let's not forget our hard-working custodians, out there salting and shoveling sidewalks so no one slips, slides, or penguin walks their way into school. While the rest of us enjoy that magical snow day feeling, these Comets are working through the night, headlights glowing, boots crunching, breath hanging in the cold Ohio air to make sure our campuses are ready. So today, and every cold, snowy day, we say thank you. You are the quiet snow day VIPs behind every safe step.
Well, if our snow day VIP crew is watching tonight live, or if you're watching later, I want to say thank you to you, and we say thank you to you, but we really want to also extend a thank you to your loved ones who watch you walk out the door. They are here at 1 in the morning, 1:30 in the morning, 3 in the morning, 4 in the morning, 5 in the morning, and there are a handful of us that joined them around 4:30, and they've already been hard at work for a long time in making sure it's safe. And when you cover all of our lots, it takes a good 7 to 10 hours to clear those, and so it's a lot of work. So thank you so much for their hard work. All right, now we change gears and we go to another VIP. This is a very special person, and this is why we are so excited to gather tonight. Connie, hopefully, yes, we do have some Kleenex there too. It is a night to remember, we hope, for you and your family and loved ones. But we have some special video that we would like to share with you, and then we'll have some comments. So, Tracy, do you mind sharing the video with Connie and family?
Connie has really been a link from today all the way back to the origins of what I would call kind of our modern district, serving with school board members like Mary Ann Culbertson, Dave Leonard, Glenn Knight, Eric Cantor, she, along with them, really put together the agreements and the vision for this high school, which we're now celebrating the 25th anniversary of. So having a person like Connie throughout all those years is really important for a community to be able to have long-term planning, consistency, and the kind of success that we've had.
The first thing that comes to my mind is whenever I attended a board meeting or any school event, sometimes I was kind of nervous, and I would always look down there and see Connie, and she would give me a reassuring nod or glance, and it just made me feel at ease. And I really appreciate that, and that's one of my best memories.
I first met her as a staff writer for the Mason High School Chronicle, covering the school board election. She sat down with me and shared her stories and thoughts, helping me dive into all of my questions. Her knowledge and expertise about our community made it clear to me that she cared so much about making the student experience the best it could possibly be. She's overseen the enormous growth of this community and how to adapt the resources and the programming to what the students need.
I think Connie was very instrumental in some of the key changes that we've made over the last few decades, particularly around our building configuration. Connie has a quiet way of listening and then interjecting with very informative ideas that have helped form how we've eventually laid out our entire district. And so I think that's one. I think another is her ability to be consistent through several negotiations with our teachers. They know she's there, and that's been a constant, and I think that's helped our entire community.
Well, I just want to thank Connie for her years of dedication and commitment as a parent and teacher. It meant a lot to me to have her support and backing all these years. I think about some of the changes, coaching track on the cinder track when I first came to Mason, and then redoing Dwyer Field and the all-weather track and what that meant. Also announcing basketball games and football games, starting out in the old gym at what is now the middle school, and then building the arena and getting to dedicate that new space. All of these changes just meant a lot to all teachers over the years.
Connie, your impact reaches far beyond board meetings and policies. It lives in the students whose lives were shaped by the schools that you helped guide. Thank you for your selfless service, dedication to students, and your unwavering commitment to educational excellence and community growth.
I'd want to say thank you. Thank you on behalf of myself, fellow board members and served with Connie, but really on behalf of the entire community. Having that kind of commitment, probably the longest serving board member in our school district's history, has really been a gift to our community, and so I would just say thank you.
Tracy, thank you so much for putting it together.
Yeah, I wanted, just serendipitously today, I was talking to Kevin randomly. Dr. Bright texted me out of nowhere, and we were talking about you, and this was some of what he wanted me to share tonight as well. I appreciated being able to bounce ideas off of her. Connie listened and responded accordingly. She was also one of the board members who stayed in contact with me after I left Mason. I always appreciated that. Her tenure and vote counts from the public are a measure of her long-term effectiveness as a school board member. Obviously, she has had a tremendous impact. And I know on behalf of our team, and we're all going to share a few things, but it was funny to talk with Kevin because before I was officially hired, I don't know if it was, I'm not quite sure how that happened, but before I was hired, I needed to come and sit down and have lunch with Connie Yingling, and Dr. Wright said, that's important, and I will always forever be grateful that for that warm and caring way that you learned, that you helped teach me about what this district was about. And it really is about the care that you've poured into so many people in big decisions that have shaped us, every building that we sit in. Many negotiations where you sat across the table representing those educators' voices and listening carefully, and also thinking about our students and families. But most importantly, in small, caring ways that you've reached out and connected with people and have made a deep impact. So on behalf of my family and me, I'm forever grateful that you said okay after we had that lunch at Mimi's many years ago.
It was a good hire.
Connie, just so grateful to have had the chance to work under you as a board member. When I think about how I've gotten to know you, I think you just exemplify leading with love. Your genuine care and appreciation for every member of our school community just shines through in everything you do. And I have certainly felt that personally. And it's the little things. It's just checking in and the asking how are you and sharing ideas and inspiration. And I just want you to know how much I appreciate that, and that your impact will go on, and you will be missed. So thank you for your service. Thank you for being a model of service to others and to community. You are truly an inspiration, and just wish you all the best.
Very much.
Well, I think Kevin mentioned, your the data of one of the longest standing board members in Mason. I mean, that's a legacy in itself. And so we are so excited that to be a part of that with you and your leadership. As a recovering superintendent for 12 years, I know the impact of public service from your seat as a community leader. So that is much appreciated. And I did a little data from the OSBA, and only 17% of the board members in Ohio serve for 12 years or more. So you're probably in a 5% or less category. So that's a pretty high mark to achieve. So that's, like I said, we talked earlier, the patience, the grace, the appreciation of your community, and the support that you've given students, staff is amazing. I mean, Rachel told me a neat story in the lobby just of how you remembered some of the things that she did during COVID, and she so appreciated that. So, and a typical tenure for a board member is only 5 to 8 years. So you've exceeded and set the standard and the bar high for our leaders in Mason. So we wish you the best.
Thank you very much. I did not know that statistic, so thank you for sharing that.
You're welcome.
Connie, I appreciate your mission-driven outlook, and how anytime somebody came up to speak, I mean, you have such empathy and care through your eyes, through your actions, always recognizing the value that everybody brings as far as the students, the impact that you've had, the board's had on the community. And for me, I remember meeting you, I think it was Western Row. We were walking around, they're not called modulars anymore. They're called outdoor classrooms, but I just remember I was new, I was nervous. You were so kind. You'd walk beside me and just asking about my family, being personal. It was just, to me, that represents you, just that caring, loving outlook that you provide to us, to the people that come to speak, as well as I'm sure the many calls that you fielded along the way, and just appreciate your service.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Connie, I don't even know where to begin, because I'm one of the few people who've been here the entire time you've been on the board. I just remember being young and bright-eyed and excited, and I just appreciate all the opportunities that you have given me and to others. I remember watching your kids even grow up through Mason and everything else. So I'm just blessed to have had the time to work with you. We talked outside, and you said, Eric, your story motivates me. I'm going to give it the opposite. You motivate us, and you motivate a lot of people in this community to do better and to work hard and take care of our kids. And so thank you for your many, many years of service, and hopefully your next journey in life is even better than what's been right now. Thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Connie, I just when I think of your your heart and your leadership over the years. There's a lot of words that come to mind, and some of those are care and kindness, thoughtfulness, fiscal stewardship. Certainly, it's one of those things. I think something that a lot of people touched on already. Just it's very evident how much you care about people, whether it's kids or staff or families or community members. It's just evident in everything that you do how deeply you care about people, and I've always appreciated that. One of the things I did take a chance to look up this week was the district's enrollment when you started in 1999, and we were around 5,300 kids back then. And so to think in the first half of your term on the board, we more than doubled to 11,000. And not only that, of course, we were not sitting in this building when you started, but during your time, that first half again, built this building, built the high school addition, MECC, passed multiple operating issues, and just to think about the skill and the care and the heart and the perseverance it takes to do all the things that you've been part of over the years really says a lot about who you are. So we'll miss you and we appreciate you.
Thank you, Sean. That's very kind.
Connie, you are a legacy leader. I wrote some notes down here that I just want to share with you, and I have a copy that I'll hand to you. So all kinds of fun statistics. Sean sent his board memo on Sunday and had all these great statistics in it, which I just loved. It was kind of like before and now, and it sent me down some great pathways to look into some further data that will hopefully you'll appreciate. But the thing that I appreciate about you, Connie, is when we think about Mason quality, and we talk a lot about that. I've been here 11 years, and I've seen you help us and support us through the hardest times we've ever been through as a country, as a world, and you've been steady through that process and never missed a beat. You're the same Connie that was before that time, the same Connie after that time, and that is something that I know as a team are grateful for. We talk a lot about the reason Mason Quality exists is because stability of our board, and you have been one of those stable board members that have just stood by us and encouraged us, given us good feedback, challenged us where we need to be challenged, given us insights that we don't see, because you have a long view that sometimes we don't have. And so just bringing that back to our conversations when we're working through some of the toughest stuff, just saying, here's how we've done this before. And that has really meant a lot. Some specific things that you've been a champion of is mental health. One of the things that I went back to my notes. We met in 2018, one of those coffee lunches, and one of the first things in my notes is you were asking about what are we doing about mental health for our kids. That was back in 2018. That is a hot topic in our world today, and it was already on your mind far before it became the topic of the rest of the world. You were a believer in our innovation and new ideas. You were always excited to hear what we were doing, and so we'd bring new ideas, and you'd always encourage us and celebrate them. You're always supportive of our leadership development. Even when leaders would grow up here and move on to other districts, you're just always so grateful that they continue to grow as leaders and never saw it as something that we held here, but we just continued to grow people, and that was more important to you. You're always supportive of our administrators and asking how we're doing. You have deep care for the city of Mason as a whole, which is something that is a genuine asset that you bring to our conversations. And you've shaped us over decades. You're an honest and good friend. You're loyal. You're a faithful servant to our community. Some fun things that I looked up, just so you know. If I look back at 1999, because 1999 was just a minute ago when you started, and it's good. 1999 was a great time. I mean, I think it was a great time, 1999. Some things like, what was the number one song back then was Smooth by Santana, so just so you know, if in case you want to look that up. Some of the sports championships, I know Sean put some on there, but I did just double check. The Big Ten football champions back there was Wisconsin, just so you know. 2025 it was Indiana. That's just what came up in the notes. I don't know. Fast food, the most popular place in 99 was McDonald's, and the most popular place now is McDonald's, just so you know. The most Starbucks, there were 2,400 of them back then, 1999. There are 40,000 now across the world. Most best-selling car, Toyota Camry back then. Now it's the Ford F-Series, so if anybody has one of those. Star Wars Episode 1, remember that they did them out of order. Episode 1 in 1999 was pretty hot. Now it's Nazaya 2. I don't know that, but it's a movie out of China, I think, and it's a pretty popular show. We'll have to check it out. And then do you remember they were talking about something called Y2, what was it? Y2K. Everyone thought the world was going to come to an end in 2000 because all the data was going to be wrong. It was going to mess everything up. So you navigated through Y2K in your first year. You navigated through COVID. You've navigated about everything on the board. So we appreciate your steady hand in that. And the last thing I'll mention to you is just Connie by the numbers. So here are some numbers. You'll appreciate these. These are a little crazy. But in 26 years, you've attended just about 624 board meetings. You've served about 364 different committee meetings, or probably many more, but those are the ones I was just quickly just doing some math around, which is approximately 2,184 hours or 91 full days of just being present at meetings with us in committees over your time here. So we appreciate your investment, and that doesn't even talk about the behind the scenes negotiations and all the hours that you put in there. You put up with 416 of my weekly updates since I started, and that's probably about 3,500 pages of notes that you've read that I have just rambled on, so I appreciate that. And then probably the most important thing, and I'll end with this, is you have been a part of about 26 different graduation ceremonies. 1, in the neighborhoods with buses. 2, outdoors with that beautiful picture of you in the tennis center, which is just people still talk about, and about 23 over in the Cintas Center, and maybe there's other places too. I don't know all of the history of our graduations, but Connie, probably the thing that we are most grateful for with you is you have been an impact player for those many years, and you've been consistent, and you've always shown up, and we appreciate you just being a part of shaping us and supporting us. So congratulations on your service, and we're excited about your next chapter. You'll still be involved. We'll hook you back in, but those are just some of the notes, and I'll hand those to you afterwards so you have them.
Thank you very much for all of that. Very kind, very thoughtful, and very much appreciated.
Well, it's not done.
Just
But
beginning.
wait, there's more. We'll go in order of who served with Connie longest. So, Mr. Steele.
So should go backwards for that.
Well, I sit here. So we'll go with you. Let's start here.
I guess. So Connie, I was thinking back too, just thinking about the number of years, and if you remember, it's been now how many years? I just said it. 14 years ago that you, Kevin, Marianne, and Debbie Delt took a chance on what Kevin used to call the young man. That nobody knew. I didn't have kids in the district. I had a 4-month-old. Actually, I saw a picture. I'll have to show you what I looked like, what Ainsley looked like at the time, and had the confidence in me to put me in this seat when you voted to appoint me to an open position on the board. So first of all, thank you for that. Thank you for giving me the chance to serve this amazing district, but even more so for teaching me what it means to serve this district over the years. And I just thank you so much for always bringing that history, that rich history of knowledge, and having been in the trenches and really been a part of all these decisions that really set us up to be who we are today. Bringing that knowledge into every decision that we make was so important for us. And I admit that as the young man, I didn't always want to hear about the history all the time. I'm like, here we go again. We're going to hear why but Connie, I'm going to miss that so much. That perspective of like the why. Because it is important to know where you've been, to know where you're going to go. And so I just thank you for all that you've taught us about how to serve, all you've taught us about the decisions that you didn't make. And we just want to, I personally, my promise and my pledge to you is that I'll do my best as what will now be the most tenured member of the school board to bring as much of that perspective as I can to bear too, and to be able to share the history that I've learned from you, but also the history that we created together in serving this district. Thank you for your friendship. Thank you for your service. It's been an honor.
Come here, old man.
It's true. Old now.
Indeed.
Fair enough.
Thank
Mr. Galvin.
Well, Kevin Wise stole a little bit of my thunder, but I wanted to close the loop and provide some definitive assurance that you are, in fact, the longest-serving tenure, at least according to what I could find on the Warren County Board of Elections, and could not find anybody else who had been elected by 6 consecutive election cycles. And I think that is a tremendous testament to your support and, you know, being somebody that the community trusts over a long period of time, you know. And I think also too, as somebody who has come in third 3 times, you're not just coming in squeaking in. You're coming in as the top vote getter in many of those elections, and I think that is something that, you know, you've set the standard high, as other people have mentioned, but it is something that I think is probably, if there were ever a, you know, chance for the Board of Elections to give out an award of a lifetime achievement or something, you know, from any local, statewide, county office, I don't think there was anybody I could find from a city council seat, a Deerfield Township trustee seat, who could match that kind of track record. And I think that is commendable, especially when you crunch the numbers and find out just how much we get paid for this role up here. So kudos to you. It's truly a testament to your heart for service. I think about, you know, the words that Tanya shared with us on that video, and I think that was kind of that it personified, you know, what drives you and what makes you so passionate about this work. It's the students in this district. It's helping see them, you know, reach their full potential, not just in Mason, but when they leave Mason, creating the framework and, you know, making sure that there's a solid foundation from which they can, you know, spring forward into the world and represent our district and their families as well as they possibly can. And you're somebody who I really appreciate your, you know, something that I feel like as I've been on the board, you have, you know, said things and taught me things that sometimes I would disagree with, but other times I would come around and change my way of thinking of something. And I think that's something that is unique, and, you know, not everybody has that ability to change and persuade the minds of other people, especially people who feel that they are convicted and they are, you know, assured of what their way of thinking is.
You?
But you've had that impact on me. I think you've also, you know, Tim King's spoke in the video. I think you're somebody that's always felt it's important for our staff to know that the board supports them, and you've done, you know, from big things to little things. You know, some of the ideas and the innovations that you've had, you know, some that have been broadcast in these meetings, but others that, you know, probably won't ever get the credit that they deserve, that have come out in our work sessions and on drawing boards and things like that. I think that's part of the legacy that you leave too, and that's something that I know we will all endeavor to carry with us going forward, is that support of our staff and how much that manifests in the success of our students and benefits our community. So Connie, thank you. We're going to miss you, but we're also going to make sure that we are keeping you close by and in the loop with everything that's going on.
Thank you. I appreciate that very much, Charles.
Mrs. Batchy?
Well, Connie, I remember right after I was elected, you were one of the first people to call and say, "Hey, let's eat at Miss Panera," and she walked up to me, she shook my hand, she said, "Congratulations," and then she said, "This one's for me," and gave me a hug.
Mm-hmm.
So it felt really good being, you know, the newest board member, and you're warm and you're welcoming, and just the depth of knowledge that you have and the years of tenure are just irreplaceable. You know, it's really good for us to hear the root of, you know, like Matt said, sometimes we do things and we don't really know where it came from originally, and it's so nice to have your wisdom there to remind us, you know, this is why we did this, or this is why we didn't do it. We've tried that before. So I know that will be greatly missed. You're a wonderful face for our school and a great representative. I love your connection with, you know, our teachers and our school people, that you always show that you care. So you have been a wonderful mentor, and I appreciate everything you've done, and I'm truly going to miss you.
Thank you. Very sweet. You are a friend. I appreciate that always.
So I'll start by looking out into the crowd at the Yingling family and saying, thank you. Thank you for sharing your mom. Thank you for sharing your wife. Nobody sits up here alone. If it's not for the love and support of our families, it's really hard to do this. So for all the love and support you've given your mom and your wife, we are grateful. This school district is deeply grateful. So thank you. Funny story. 2019, when Desiree won, I lost. It's okay. We're over it. But the first person, now mind you, Connie Yingling and I had a lunch, I think, at Bravo, maybe something. We had a lunch during the campaign. Rings my doorbell. The day after the election, my wife and I are still a little sore. And she talks to us for an hour about how she was grateful that we ran, that she was proud that we put ourselves out there that way, to not give up. Just some of the most encouraging stuff in a moment where I didn't really want to hear it. And it was the most sincere thing, because we weren't at that time friends like that. For you to do something like that for me in that moment means so much and talks about who you are as a person. It's another funny story, because in case you didn't know, Connie's really funny. She is. That election where she wasn't the top vote getter, she called the top vote getter and says to him, well, you've done something historic. And I'm like, yeah. And she goes, no, silly, you got more votes than I did. She's like, nobody's done that. And I was like, oh, okay.
You weren't thinking of that, were you?
No, it did not enter my mind at all, but it really made me laugh. And so for the 4 years that you have served on the board while I've been on the board have been wonderful. The word that comes to my mind when I think of you is glue. For you to serve with as many board members and through a community that has changed as much as this one has, you are someone who is sticky and holds things together. And glue is deeply underrated because it's highly effective. And we would not be Mason but for your service, because of how you can put people at ease, because you have a uncanny emotional intelligence and your ability to take the shape of what is required in the moment. You have helped move this district forward in ways that generations, my own children, have benefited from. So I can't tell you how much I will carry all of the things that you've tried to teach us. By no means is that ending with your service on the board. I know where you live, and I have your phone number, so know that you will be called upon because of who you are and your ability to be effective in rooms and spaces that other people aren't. You're a great teammate. You are a great teammate. And, as all things move on, you'll still have, you still have a grateful community and a loving family. So we are the ones that have benefited from your service, and we are just abundantly grateful for you always. So thank you for your friendship, and thank you for your service.
Thank you very much.
Connie, I don't have a lifetime award ready to give you, but I do have an award that captures a lifetime as you as a board member. So I'd like to present that to you now, and then maybe we can do a picture with our board and team with Connie, if that's okay. So Connie, we have had this prepared for you. I'll hold it so that the camera might be able to see this as well. But this captures a a lifetime of serving on the board since 1999, and it goes through the entire district and the development of the district. It's an art piece that was developed by Pam's daughter, and so it has a special personal connection to you as well. So Pam Jones' daughter has prepared this for us for you, so here is this for you.
Absolutely beautiful.
So come on out here, and if I could have everybody join us for a picture, something to capture your time here. Team, would you come out and film this?
All right, no ugly cry pictures.
No, I get it.
Tracy has to get in.
Have,
I want to be in the picture. I'm trusting Melissa Bly. You almost had it.
think you'll get us all in there?
Okay, great.
Perfect. Thanks so much. Connie, congratulations.
I want to know if they didn't hire you because of your salary.
We're close to the hours.
This is a very treasured, appropriate gift from where it came from and
Yeah.
who did it to what's on it and what's in it. It's really beautiful, and it will be hung in a prominent place in my home. That's good. Back to it. I didn't really expect this. I'd be lying if I didn't say it. It feels good. This has been a labor of love. From the moment I started with it, even though I'm leaving this seat, I think the time was the right time. I don't regret my decision, but it is a very, very bittersweet situation. I love it here. It's fun. It was my life. My husband and I still talk about, if they need somebody, we'd still work a concession stand. It's been such an honor and a privilege to be able to do this job at all, let alone for all of these years. I am filled with joy when I think about this job and what the board has been able to do during my tenure, but not because of me, just something that I was along for the ride with. I lent a helping hand, but we've been gifted in this district with so many special, super talented, and very committed individuals, and that's how we got here, and it's how we will continue to move forward in the same light. I want to thank my family and my close friends, because without you all, I wouldn't have been able to do this. I've spent time doing this, time that was away from you, but there are also other times where you joined me in something we were doing. Allie, I don't know how many parades we went through on Heritage Day, but it was just awesome. I've loved seeing my two young grandsons play in Mason at a facility near the school or on the school grounds. I appreciate everything that you have done in supporting me through all of this. The most beneficial piece of support that Connie Yingling had while she was going through these years was the other board members that I have had the pleasure and the honor of serving with. I want to read the names of every board member that I've worked with in the past 26 years. The two culprits responsible for me being here in the first place, Dave Leonard and Mary Ann Culbertson. They talked to me about it, they encouraged me, they supported me, and it was a great piece of first information in this job. Glenn Knight Jr., Eric Canner, Russ Carter, Debbie Delp, Kevin Wise, who's here tonight. Good to see you, I appreciate that. Jennifer Miller, Beth DeGroff, John Odell, Mason educator. Courtney Allen, Matt Steele, Randy Andrews, another Mason educator. Charles Galvin, Desiree Batchy, and Ian Orr. If any of you know any of those people, you know what high caliber talent that this district has benefited from. I will be forever grateful to every one of them. Our teachers and our staff, talk about some glue. Every day of every school year, our staff just pulls it together. It doesn't matter what some obstacles may be that are lurking. It doesn't matter if we are trying to launch a new building or get ourselves through a construction project. It's the staff that was here with us at the time, leading and guiding our kids every single day through every one of those situations. I can't thank you enough. I can't rave about you enough. You are clearly above most of what districts, public school systems have to work with. I'm so grateful to have been a part of it. To the parents and the families that live in our community, many of them didn't have kids in school, but the support that we enjoyed from this community makes a board member's job easy. It really does. If you've got the community supporting you, you can really bring to fruition big hopes, big dreams, big innovation from your staff and your educators, which is really what this school district is all about. We've tackled so many big projects, answered so many big questions about how this district should move forward. All the way from, do we want to have 2 high schools or 1 high school moving forward back in 1999, all the way to the dream centers that we've recently opened. Just wonderful insight, wonderful innovation, talking to kids, talking to educators, talking to families, bringing it all together. It's just been such a privilege to work with people that supported all of that. I appreciate so much the community putting me in this seat, election after election. I never took it lightly. I never will take it lightly. It was a huge, humbling experience to me, and the responsibility I felt from it was big, it was large, but it was appropriate, and that responsibility to the people who put you there, the people who trust you, they give you money to spend and watch and make sure it's done appropriately. I can't thank the public enough. I'm just so grateful. And the one piece of advice, almost a request I would make of anyone that lives in our community, if you want Mason to remain and be a place that you love to raise your family here, a place where you're proud to say, I live, every day you go to work and talk to your coworkers and your friends, your families from out of state maybe. If you want to be proud of your community, get involved and do something. It can be big, it can be small. Not everyone can run for a seat in council or at the school board. But for example, don't ever miss your opportunity to vote. It's so important. It's your right. And if you love where you live, protect it. Do something, get involved. And I can tell you from experience, if you do that, your life will be much more joyful. You will enjoy every day where you are. And that's what my life has been while I've lived on this school board. I've appreciated the support over and over again the kindness over and over again. And I am a team player. It's what I've strived to be. I'm glad, Ian, that you recognize that. But I had mentors all over this district showing what it's like to be a good team player and make things work. I'm going to miss it, but I won't be going anywhere, so if you need something, give me a call. If I can, I will. Thank you.
Well, Mason, you heard that here first. Before her cell phone number is no longer on the website, you can go jot it down and make sure she remains engaged. Thank you, Connie. We appreciate it, but I don't think we're done. So we're going to move to item number 6 before we pause to let people go on about their evenings and go to item number 6, hearing of the public. Tracy, it looks like I have a blue sheet and call to the dais Mr. Jerry Yingling.
Well, initially I came with a 30-minute speech. And Tracy tracked me down and said, nope, 3 minutes is all you got. So, I remember when this school board thing first kicked off, we had just moved into a house across the street by the church, and Connie went out back and met Mary Ann Culbertson. And that's when she found out Mary Ann was on the school board and there was an open position and they were going to be filling that. And that's when it all began, I think. Little did we know that appointment would lead to a 26-year love affair. And that's what it's been, is she's got a love affair with this school district. I'm guessing 10 years ago or so, she would start asking me every so often, do I need to back out? And I said, you need to back out when you think you need to back out. And whenever you say you do, I'll support it. If you don't say you are going to, I support it as well. So it was over 26 years that she was just madly in love with this school district, wanting to do everything she could do for it. I sat down and tried to write a speech. I even thought about doing that crazy AI, is it? You guys know that stuff? I thought this dog's too old for that. So I ended up just putting some bullets down to talk about. I'm really happy tonight because probably 25 times at least in the last 26 years, I've wanted to speak at hearing of the public. She convinced me, though, that me speaking at hearing of the public would probably create more problems for her than it might solve for the district. So I yielded to that. But the good news about tonight is, according to the rules, I can say whatever I want. She can't speak back. That's the first time in over 46 years of marriage that I enjoy that benefit.
Mr. President, I might move to extend the time allotted for the...
Motion granted. Motion granted. Motion granted.
Is there a second?
Yeah. Continue, please.
I remember many, many, many years ago, I remember the day, I don't know if there's anybody in here except Eric. I remember the day when I had to follow her into this board meeting because things got really ugly. We had to have police here. So there were some times when it was rough, when it wouldn't have surprised me if she would have said, I didn't sign up for this stuff. And things really got ugly for a long time, but she hung in there and saw it through. You know, she was on the board before some of our teachers were even born. Think about that. She served longer without us having sons in school. Am I saying that right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. She served longer with sons out of school than sons with school, which I think made her a pretty good board member because she didn't have an axe to grind with anybody. She just had to make the right decision for the students, teachers, and taxpayers. She served for a quarter of a century. Think of that. That's unbelievable. I believe she was the top vote getter in every campaign except one, if I'm not mistaken. And I have a note here that I've got to change. I wrote that I believe that Connie might be the only person left from Old Mason, but Eric, you're an Old Masonite, aren't you? Do what? Okay.
There's a few.
Okay.
Melissa.
So we're up to 3. You know, and I hope that the board, the administration, keep touch with these Old Masonites, because there's something about the Old Mason that I think allow it to move into where we are today. I've got 2 more things. One is, one final thought is, I can finally reveal the best campaign idea that I ever had that she would never use. Don't be a dingaling, vote for Yingling. Every election I begged her, let me put that on a flyer. I'm telling you, it may be stupid, but people will remember it. But in closing, Connie, I love you. I'm so proud of you. So proud. Words can't express. And the Mason School District can rest knowing that you served them with your eyes focused on students, employees, and taxpayers with every decision you made in over 26 years. Thank you.
Technically, that's not a response; it's a hug. So we're still within the rules. We're still within the rules. Do we have any other requests for public comment? I want to thank everybody who came out tonight to celebrate our friend and board member Connie Yingling. You know, they only build one of you, and you only come around once in a lifetime. And we're so grateful that we got to share this space and this time with you. But, you know, like you said, you aren't going anywhere. Just kind of change of address from here to there. But we'll make sure you still stay connected. So we'll take a pause for those that came out to celebrate Connie. And before we get back to the, I think you called it fun, the work we do. So before we get back to the fun, we'll let you guys go on with your night. But thank you all for coming out to celebrate Connie. Appreciate it. programming. So, we are at item number 7, superintendent recommendations, personnel items. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Dr. Cooper.
Yes, we have, this is the middle of the year, so we are a little bit lighter on our hiring this time of the year, but we are getting ready, geared up. Dr. Blessing and I were just talking about the hiring process. We have a lot coming up around the corner, but for tonight, let me just walk you through a couple of the highlights in our personnel recommendations. So Section H, you'll see we continue to bring on substitute teachers. I was in the middle school the other day, and they had a professional learning meeting going on, and the reason we're able to do that in the middle of the day is because we had really solid substitute teacher support in our classroom. So continue to join us. Section R is classified personnel appointments. I'll just remind Ian there is a connection there, so I think you have that in your notes. But we have some great folks coming on board in multiple different roles supporting our students. In Section T, there's a resignation. Ellis Schlager, we want to thank you for your work here with the Comet Care. She was an assistant there. She is connected to Jeff Schlager here at the high school. She's going back to finish up her degree to become an intervention specialist, I believe. And so keep us on your radar, Ella. So students that are in the room and watching tonight, remember, once you leave Mason, you go on, if you do choose to come back to a K-12 profession, we have lots of opportunities here, and we love to bring our alumni back in as well. Section AC, we have student teacher program. We do support all the universities around here, and if there are other universities that want to partner with us. But we are a large school system. We want to bring on student teachers. We want to thank the teachers that are on the agenda tonight that are supporting and coaching these new student teachers. The student teachers, that's kind of an interview process. So you come in and you do a student teaching here. We get to know you. We actually go out and meet with the student teachers and talk about interview techniques and things that we're looking for as a district. We, Dr. Blessing and I think a few weeks ago, we were talking to some student teachers, and they had all kinds of good questions, like should we know, like what do we need to know? And we said one of the things you need to know is how to integrate AI literacy thoughtfully, into that's something we're looking for as we go forward. So just great conversation. So we want to thank our teachers for bringing on student teachers to build that pipeline for us. And then in Section AF, you'll see some independent enrichment contracts that are supporting our performing arts. Our performing arts is a big part of our Project 100. We're get 100% of our kids connected. Our marching band is one of those, and you'll see some contracted services coming on here. Each year they do that. It's paid for through the marching band funds, and they are getting ready, preparing for the next season. Even though we just came from nationals, a week or two ago, it seems like. We're gearing up for next year's nationals, and so we wish the best to our performing arts students. Those are the major highlights through this. Any questions, let me know.
Thank you, Dr. Cooper.
Thanks.
Any further commentary? Seeing none, Sean, please call the roll.
Mr. Steele?
Yes.
Ms. Yingling?
Yes.
Mr. Galvin?
Yes.
Ms. Apache?
Yes.
Mr. Orr?
Yes, but
Okay.
abstain as to part R. All right. Item number 8, superintendent recommendation action items. Dr. Cooper.
Yes, we have, item A is the second reading and approval of the new course proposals. Dr. Brennan, last meeting, did a very nice job kind of unpacking the different classes that are being recommended. We have the 2 at the middle school, Career Connections, Journey Through Food, and then we have the Data Science Foundations at the high school. So if anybody has further questions, we're always open to share those, but they're up tonight for your vote and approval. Item B is OSBA annual membership. We are members of the OSBA, which stands for Ohio School Board Association. Not only is it a network that we are part of, but they also help support our policy updates. So when legislation goes through in Columbus, they are the ones that then take that and then they give us a quarterly update on what are the policies that the legislation impacts. Then we have a whole policy review process that we're getting ready to actually hit later this week, that we go through those on a quarterly basis and update those here at the board meeting. Item C, Ohio Valley Voices. Item D, Best Point Agreement. Item E, Warren County ESC Wellness Center Placement. And item F, Butler County ESC Union Day Therapeutic School Placement. These are all placement programs that are in accordance and alignment with IEP needs, individual education needs for specific students, and they are getting the services and support that they need in these different locations. These are contracts with each of those locations for our students. And then item G is it's basically us moving forward on our planning for the nutrition renovation plans at the high school. So let me walk you through this. We are looking at, so our student nutrition services is a business within Mason City Schools is the easiest way to describe that. They function and run things on their own, but they are within Mason City Schools. So they also earn money through that process, and when they have those profits and through grant monies, they also are responsible for updating their part of the facility that they use, which is our cafeteria areas. And Rachel Tilfer's done a great job in working with operations and Todd Petrie before, and now Eric Messer, and then also Sean and I, in looking at, we need to do some updates to the high school cafeteria equipment because it's been here since 2003. And so it's been going strong, but it gets the most use in the whole county, so we're ready to update them. So this is basically working with the architects to make sure that we have the best plan of action for that space. So it's not dramatic facilities changes, but it is a significant investment in the actual equipment, which comes from our student nutrition. Significant enough that it's in a little over $1 million investment for equipment to replace all that. So we've been talking about this for a while. It will go through our facilities committee that we have coming up this week, so we'll talk more and unpack that. We've talked about it last time as well. But just so you understand, if you were to look at this and wonder what is this, that's what it is, to make sure that we have high-functioning equipment for our student nutrition services. And then the final item, H, is what is called the Food Service Department Nutrition Compliance Certification. That is a certification that comes around each year, and it's not just for our cafeteria foods that our kids are eating, but it's any food that's served throughout the district. Rachel Tilford and her crew oversee that as well, and we do get an audit on that to make sure everything that we are sharing and serving with our kids and selling here on property is in compliance with that certification.
Thank you, Dr. Cooper. Any further commentary? Seeing none, Sean, please call the roll.
Mrs. Yingling?
Yes.
Mr. Galvin?
Yes.
Mrs. Batchy?
Yes.
Mr. Orr?
Yes.
Mr. Steele?
Yes.
5-0.
Item number 9, Treasurer's Report. Do I have a motion?
So moved. Second.
Mr. Bevan.
So on the agenda tonight, we have the monthly financial reports from the month of October. One of those items is actually item F is donations. So there's several donations on here for approval tonight. One of the big recipients that you'll notice is the Community Holiday Help Fund. So this is a program. Brian and Casey Moran are a big part of that. Our own staff are a big part of that, where we receive collections or donations from people all over the community, different organizations, and those are put to use to help provide holiday gifts for families in need, and that's actually taking place later this week. So there's, but some of these donations on here are supporting that cause, and so we'll have those reports on here for approval tonight. And then the other thing that we did want to talk about was doing a brief update on property tax reform. So last month, we looked at our 4-year forecast, and we talked about the legislation that was kind of in place or and has been moving over the last few months, and as of the last meeting had not been approved. There are 4 major pieces of legislation that were kind of in the works. I was going to give an update on those tonight. So before I talk about the specific pieces of legislation, I did want to talk a little bit about some of the background on kind of why the legislature is addressing these things. So if you've been with us or watched meetings at any time over the last few years, you've heard us talk about House Bill 920. So House Bill 920 was passed in 1976, probably the only thing around that was passed before Connie was on the board. And basically the idea with House Bill 920 was that as property values go up, the tax rate or the millage rate goes down, and so you're paying the same amount that last year that you were, or before the rating or before the value increases that you are afterwards. And so that's really been in place for a long time. If you go to the next slide, Tracy, you can see about 12, 13 years ago, we had about 100 school districts in Ohio were on something called the 20 mil floor. And now we're at over 450 districts. So what is the 20 mil floor? Why is it important? So House Bill 920, again, you got values going up, tax rates going down. Tax rates can only go down to a certain point, and we call that the 20 mil floor. So once you hit the 20 mil floor, then House Bill 920 is out the door. And so if you have a 10% increase in value, you're going to see a similar increase in your taxes. If you have a 20 or 30 or 40% increase in value, you're also going to see a similar increase in your taxes. And so that's significant when we go through the reappraisals and the updates and the property value increases we've seen across the state of Ohio over the last few years. And so that's why you see this graph where you got now over 70% of the schools are on this 20 mil floor. And so in Warren County, for us in particular, the 2024 reappraisal was a 28% average increase in our homes. And so if we had been on the 20 mil floor, you'd have seen a 28% increase in your property tax bills. That was not the case for us. We're not on the 20 mil floor, so that's why you only saw a 4% average increase from on our particular tax bills. So getting into the pieces of legislation, so these pieces of legislation they've been looking at are primarily really targeted towards these districts, these 450 plus districts that are on the 20 mil floor, because this really caused a lot of unvoted and high tax increases over the last few years. First one, House Bill 129. So basically this says that they're kind of changing some of the levy options for school districts, and without going into too much detail because this does not apply to us, there are actually several different levy options, and some of those count towards the 20 mil floor and some of them don't. And so that's part of the reason you got so many districts not on the 20 mil floor. They might actually have 30, 35, 40 mils, but they're actually on the 20 mil floor. So it's very confusing. And so they've kind of moving to get rid of some of those, or say that the other levy types that don't count towards the floor are now going to count towards that. So this is really going to drastically reduce the number of districts who are truly on the 20 mil floor. Second one is House Bill 186. So basically it's going to cap the amount of increase that districts who are on the 20 mil floor can actually see. So for example, I mentioned Warren County's increase was 28%. So if a district was on the floor, it had 28% increase in value, you'd see a similar increase in taxes. They're actually going to say that they're going to cap that increase at the rate of inflation over the last 3 years. So if inflation was, say, 3% a year, then the cap is going to be somewhere around 9% instead of 28%. So that's House Bill 186. The next one is House Bill 389. So House Bill 389 says that each county has a budget commission. So budget commission is made up of the county prosecutor, county auditor, and county treasurer. And so they have this group, and this group is now going to have the authority to reduce tax rates or reduce millage rates for school districts if they determine that there is a need, or if the district is collecting too much money, or there's some kind of issue there that they determine the need to change that tax rate. So they will now have the authority to do that. That will also apply to new levies as long as they've been into effect for at least 1 year. So existing levies have been on the books for a long time, and the new levies that have been on effect are on the books for at least 1 year. School districts will have the opportunity to present their case. If the budget commission says we're going to make changes to your tax rate, the district will have a chance to plead their case to the county budget commission and say why they think it should be different. And the last one is House Bill 335. So similar to the one we talked about a minute ago, for districts on the 20 mil floor, it's going to cap growth for inside millage at that same rate of inflation over the last 3 years. So before I go on to this last piece, the other thing I will mention is that, again, these 4 bills have been passed by both the House and the Senate. As of now, these bills are not directly aimed towards districts like Mason, so we're not anticipating huge increases or huge impacts, I should say, from this legislation. They're really aimed at those 20 mil floor districts, and that we are not one of those districts. So we're not anticipating large impacts from these right now. The other thing I will say is that as of today, these bills have not been signed into effect or into law by the governor. The governor had his own task force this summer where they looked at a lot of different ideas or solutions to kind of come up with some recommendations around property tax reform. So they're kind of going through this process right now where he's reviewing these and determining whether or not he wants to sign them. And so as of right now, they're not signed into law, but they have been passed by both the House and the Senate. The other thing I will say is that, and I've said this for multiple meetings now, is that the story is continuing to be written even as we sit here today. The story of property tax reform is not over. It's a very fluid game, and so even though those 4 pieces of legislation have been passed by the House and the Senate, even though they're not directly aimed at districts like Mason, there are still changes that we anticipate coming down the pike. And so I put a few things up here, or just some of the other things that have been talked about out of Columbus. Anything, and there's lots of ideas out there, and these are just a few of them. Anything from a statewide property tax rate where everybody would have the same tax rate, would be collected by Columbus. They would distribute the money as they see fit. Caps on cash reserves. This one came up over the spring and the summer. That could have an impact on us if they enacted something like that. Also, there's been talk of a statewide ballot issue in 2026 to eliminate property taxes. These are just a few examples of the things that, and the reasons why we watch these processes closely to see, even though the things that they've done so far are not drastically impacting Mason, they could do something different tomorrow that could drastically impact us. And so we're continuing to watch these things closely. Our board does a great job of reaching out to lawmakers and advocating on behalf of our community. Dr. Cooper does as well, Tracy does. So we're part of those conversations on an ongoing basis. This is what we know as of today. We'll continue to update you as we see and have more changes into the future. But that's where we're at right now.
Thank you, Sean. Thank you for keeping an eye on what Columbus is doing that could potentially impact how we interact with the community and how we fund this district. So hopefully if you're watching and listening, that kind of puts those things on your radar as a citizen, as a taxpayer. As Mrs. Yingling said, make sure you vote and that you know what's happening. So thank you, Sean. Any further commentary? Seeing none, Sean, please call the roll.
Mr. Galvin?
Yes.
Mrs. Matchy?
Yes.
Mr. Orr?
Yes.
Mr. Steele?
Yes.
Ms. Yingling?
Yes.
5-0.
Item number 10, committee reports. And we will lead off with Arts and Activities Council. Dr. Blessing.
Thank you. We did meet last week, and we approved the 2026 Winter Guard show, so that's exciting. As we talked about nationals just a couple weeks ago, they're getting ready for the Winter Guard, which I know takes all winter and part of spring, so it's exciting. We did approve some out-of-state field trips. The speech and debate team is going to be traveling to a few places, Olmsted Falls, Canton, Glen Oaks. Science Olympiad is going to go to the University of Michigan, Salone, and Sylvania. 2 new clubs at the high school, Animation, Graphic Design, and National Economic Challenge, and 1 new middle school club, the Investment Club. In addition, we approved some additional funds for some of those sponsors that are reflected on our personnel agenda. So it was about a 20-minute meeting, but covered a lot of ground, so exciting things.
Sounds like it. Thank you, Dr. Blessing.
You're welcome.
Diversity Council's up next. That's Tracy.
We had a great meeting where we kind of dug into one of our OKRs, which was really on our staff journey days and kind of talking about it from that lens of equity and inclusion and what that means. And I think one of the most powerful parts of the conversation came from a member of our council who's a parent, but also serves as a paraprofessional in our district, and talked about just what an equity move it feels like to be in professional learning with all different roles represented, and to be able to kind of speak in a room thinking about special education, but having ISs and paras and speech folks and general ed teachers all there with the same gravitas, sitting in, doing the learning together. And I thought that was a really profound way of also just thinking about what these days mean for our staff, because the idea of that collaboration is that we really do get better when we're all together, getting to learn and co-construct that meaning. So we took away some good ideas from that, and it was really helpful and appreciation to Dr. Brennan, who kind of helped tee us off sharing information there.
Thank you so much, Tracy. But we're going to come right back to you for Mason Schools Foundation.
So Mason Schools Foundation has also been super busy approving more grants. I mean, we have really, this year, really starting at our very first September Journey Day, met with teachers and said, if you've got great ideas, we're willing to fund them. And boy, those have been coming hot and heavy. So we have funded a number of new grants that are really exciting, and also getting prepared for our reading challenge, which is a big significant lift. Many, many thanks to Melissa Bly and all the MECC teachers, to Rob Polka and all of our Mason Elementary educators, and to Mrs. Deanna Todd and our MI crew and all the educators there who are getting ready to really, it's a significant fundraiser for the foundation, but I think what makes it such an above and beyond moment is the way that our educators and our administrators create a lot of fun in January around reading. And so that's something we need more volunteers for, and we would love to have people join us in kind of the spirit of what it feels like to get those events. Really, it's kind of 2 weeks of a lot of work. And so if you're just someone who wants to get involved in your elementary school age kid getting in and doing some of that, we would love to have you.
Thankfully, we have a board member that has several elementary age children, so we'll be looking for volunteers in that.
We will also take community members who don't have children in school and have them as volunteers too.
Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you, Tracy. We'll move on to item number 11, legislative update. Dr. Cooper.
Yes, legislative update. The legislators are on recess through probably January, February. They have some meetings set to start back up. But some of the things just to wrap up, Sean mentioned House Bill 129, 186, 309, and 335. They all went to the governor today. So we'll see if those move forward. We anticipate those moving forward, and Sean did a nice job unpacking those. So if people have questions, please let us know. House Bill 114 is one we've talked a little bit about here because it's a kindergarten admission. That's the idea that kindergartners would begin school when they're 5 years old on the first, they have to be 5 years old the first day of when school begins here. So that's a little different, so I'll say that again. So you have to be 5 years old on the first day when school begins here. So that is most likely going to go into effect. That went to the governor's desk as well. There's also another one that just affects some of our teens. There was a Senate Bill 50 about the teen work hours that did get vetoed, so the teen work hours will stay the same in the evening on school nights. They were extending that to a little bit later. The NIL deal that we've discussed here, which is how athletes are paid, that we are the 45th state now to have that in effect. Now, we had a robust conversation at our athletic council meeting around how that concept, we have some trouble with the concept because it does encourage some behaviors that can be difficult for young people to navigate in. So we did have a nice, robust conversation. Feel free to make any comments about that or we can talk more about that. But it did go into effect. We are the 45th state. There are some details that if anybody wants to go over the rules of that, we do have to abide by those rules that are in place. But that is something that is moving forward for student athletes. A couple other bills that we're monitoring. There's one, House Bill 326, we'll continue to watch closely. It is the classic learning test. I was not as familiar with the CLT, but it is an alternative to ACT and SAT, and it is a shorter test, and they're trying to advocate for that to be something that's put in place as an option for our students. And House Bill 455, I've shared with you before, that's the one that we've worked on as a district to influence because of how they measured the future readiness for students, and they were just, the spirit of the idea is good. The measures and the data they were collecting and doing that reporting was not as good. And so they're going to make a correction, and that they've already made some corrections, and then we will watch that as it comes back through the Senate, and we'll continue to refine that process. There's a few other ones that are specific to public education, but those are the ones that we have been deeply involved in. Thanks.
Thank you, Dr. Cooper. The only clarification, not a point of clarification, but the NIL is not legislation. It is a rule from the Ohio High School Athletic Association that they're trying to get out in front of some court legal issues that they were potentially facing. So, but because we're a member school, we have to abide by those rules. So, just wanted to clarify that. Any further commentary?
I think you summed it up a little bit. For those that don't know the origin of that, there was a lawsuit filed last fall. The lawsuit resulted in a temporary restraining order. Temporary restraining orders from a court typically, by law, can only last 14 days. This one, for some reason or another, was extended to 45 days, the duration of the football season. And in that 45-day window, the Ohio High School Athletic Association's leadership ran around to all of the member schools with a, I would say, hastily drafted regulation to try and sort of split the baby, if you will, and encourage the member schools to support it. The member schools had a vote, it passed, and so that regulation is now in place. Since that regulation has gone into place, however, there's been a local state representative who has expressed a lot of interest in putting, I think, more thoughtfulness behind how NIL in Ohio goes about, and I know that we will be very interested in having a seat at that table, because we definitely think there can be some improvements to that rule.
Agreed.
So, thanks.
And that's from your two board members that are on athletic committee. So we'll move on to item number 12, administrator commentary, and we will start with Tracy.
Sure. Well, just want to reiterate, Connie, thank you for all of your service, the legacy that you leave. It's been such an honor to get to know you a little bit, and just so grateful for the impact you've had on my own life, also my 2014 son and daughter-in-law, and my soon-to-be 2039, who you were so gracious of being so excited for me when we announced that Ella was going to be here. So we appreciate that. And then a few months ago, you all approved a new club, United Sound, which is a national organization that supports music for all. Their concert, the first concert tonight, we have incredible music concerts all the time, and our Wind Symphony is going to be conducting. Henry Horning is going to be conducting, a junior, with our Mason Wind Symphony, our very first United Sound joint concert tomorrow. If you wanted to watch that in action, that'll be at 8 p.m. tomorrow night. I think it'll be just really beautiful, and we're really excited. I know that Henry and other leaders who've been involved, and certainly such gratitude to our performing arts department, Mr. Jackson and Ms. Jones, who have just really stepped up to really support having this happen. I was talking with Mrs. Jones about it, and she was saying just how they were just so interested in how the whole thing would play out, and it has played out beautifully, as we know our performing arts would make that happen. But I know Henry particularly is interested in kind of just how can we make this a sustainable fundraising model. And so be on the lookout for how those things will continue. And then with that, I would be remiss without giving one more plug as we get very, very close to the end of Community Holiday Help, which will take place this weekend, and it really is a monumental endeavor with 1,100 kids right here, Comets, who are going to be getting gifts, getting sweatshirts, getting blankets, getting food, getting winter gear, have been blessed by so many partners in our community and so many individuals, and all of those pieces really, really help. And we certainly aren't quite over the finish line yet. We're very, very close. So if you do feel moved to give, we'd love to have just any little bit of that will just help go support Comets right here in Mason.
Thank you, Tracy. And we'll go to Dr. Brennan.
Thank you. So November 21st was an exciting day in Comet Country. It was our second ever Journey Day here, and Tracy alluded to that a bit with our staff learning journeys and our staff Journey Day. When we think about our vision of each and every comet, discovering purpose and potential, this is one way that we really try to support getting to this vision. And it's for our students and it's for all of our staff. And so I just want to take a moment to thank everybody who played a role in this, not just as participants, but really in designing and implementing this opportunity both for our staff and for our students. We had all of our staff here, the high school again, learning together, 85 different presenters, 110 different sessions that were really related to what's most needed for that staff group right then, and often choosing that for themselves, for what they want to pursue that's relevant to their focus. And we received continued positive feedback about relevance and applicability of learning, and really just value time to connect and to collaborate with colleagues, and especially people that our staff don't always get to connect with, whether that's paras, with intervention specialists, or it's performing arts teachers across buildings or other content areas. And all of this is made possible because our students are learning from home through their Journey Days. And I just wanted to share, we do ask our students to share a highlight of the day. And just a few of those are at our elementary level. We had a focus on leadership and developing as a leader. For our younger students, it was really thinking local. What can you do at home to be a leader within your family or within your home? And so one of our fifth graders said, you know, a highlight of my day, this was actually the highlight. I cleaned the house and I cooked something new. I really liked it because you get to pause and think about what you really want to do and help people. And a sixth grader shared a highlight of my Journey Day was that I realized not every leader or helper has to do anything big to be known as a leader. I realized that even a simple, kind action can make someone's day. So I think maybe a future school board member. I see echoes of the leadership that we were hearing about tonight. And I could go on with the quotes, but as we got older, students also were thinking beyond just home. So we had at middle school and high school students who talked about highlights of writing a letter to someone who inspired them, of visiting colleges, of doing job shadows, of seeing advanced manufacturing sites in our community in action, pursuing personal art projects and volunteering. And having some time to learn and reflect about their self and their future. An eighth grader who mentioned how it was really valuable to learn about other career clusters that would fit me if my preferred one didn't work out. Which I thought, gosh, I wish I had been thinking about that as an eighth grader. Luckily, it worked out, I think. But, you know, to broaden those horizons of what's possible. And a current senior who said a highlight was being able to learn about some of my best traits that will be helpful for my future career and learning about budgeting for college. So really important whole learner things to be able to use this time. And it happens because in each of our buildings, we have staff who are developing the experiences in school that help prepare students and to bring it back with them. And so I just appreciate all the thought that they've put into that and supporting. I will mention another highlight for many of our secondary students was sleeping in. So we can all appreciate that, and it is a mental health move. We know how important sleep is as well. So thanks to them and to our families who also support this learning for their children.
Thank you, Dr. Brennan. We could all sleep in some days. Dr. Blessing.
Well, again, thank you, Connie, for your service and congratulations. And just to be brief, we have looking forward to gearing up for the new year, but with all of our staffing and new hires. But I just want to wish everyone a wonderful holiday and a happy new year.
Thank you so much. Christine?
So Connie, when I originally spoke, I forgot to say how much I'd miss you. I didn't add that at the end. I'm like, darn. So we really will, or I really will. One of the things that I wanted to kind of bring to your attention is about Journey Day, but a little different angle on the classified staff. One of the things that the Journey Day allows us to do is really do things in an accelerated way. So we have Translate Live devices, and they're intended to help when English is a second language and families as well as students, we just have that language barrier. So it enables us to have live translation. What we were able to do on Journey Day is get a lot of disparate staff spread out from across buildings, which we just normally would not have the ability to do. So just the speed in which we can take something in a very tactical way that you can apply it immediately the next day, the Journey Day really helps us to do that. So it's not only intended for students, but it actually in our entire organization, what it allows us to do is really phenomenal. So we had that session on Journey Day, and people wanted more of that. So they're like, well, what else? Can we get licenses? Can we do this? Can we do that? So I just wanted to reiterate the value of those days and a little different angle on that.
Thank you so much. Mr. Messer.
Well, speaking of sleeping in, so snow days have a whole new meaning for me now. Never did I think I'd be texting people at 3:45 in the morning to see if the snow's coming down and where it's at and how it looks. But I do want to just reiterate the wayfinding moment today with our maintenance crews, our custodians. I would also say our mechanics, some of our bus drivers, our transportation department, to plow the transportation, then move all the buses back, and then plow in front of them, then move them forward. It just takes a lot of time.
Even to take the snow off the buses.
Oh yeah, take it off the buses. I was behind a truck the other day, and it was just snow going everywhere. I agree. And so just the fact I have a whole new appreciation for what that looks like. I know kids, you love it. We understand that. But I just want to say thank you, and also for the board support and new equipment that we have used. We certainly put it into play last Tuesday, so thank you for that. But also, I need to call out Jerry Pennington. That man works tirelessly for this district over and over and over. This first text to me was at 3:15 saying I'm out and I'm driving. And so he is just a legacy leader here in this district, and I want to make sure I say thank you to him. So thank you.
Thank you, Eric. Mr. Bevan.
Just a thank you again to Mrs. Yingling and all of your service to the district. And I will say, I am now officially looking forward to future board addressing the board from Mr. Yingling. So I enjoyed that tonight, and I'll look forward to maybe hearing from him again in the future.
Quite an entertainer.
Dr. Cooper.
Great strategies there. I loved it. I am checking the weather now. I'm just making sure that we are ready and prepared for this week on Friday for snow or whatever we have coming in.
I see excitement. I see excitement.
They're watching over the, they know I got the chart up, ready to go. No, we'll be ready. We're ready. Just really quickly, I want the donations, those were significant donations. Tracy brought it up. They really do help our kids. They help our kids and our families, 1,100 kids, and they deliver a holiday spirit that cannot be matched. It's a sweet moment for our families to be able a parent to come in and say, I have everything I want to give to my kids. And so contribute to that. Connie's words were just wise and timeless. Get involved, invest in your community. I mean, that'll be the words I remember from Connie for moving forward forever. That is a great advice. We have groups like Kiwanis and Rotary and local churches and the American Legion giving to this cause because they see the impact. So thank you. Continue to do that. I do wish everyone peace, joy, and I hope a spirit of generosity over the holiday season as you move forward. So wish everybody a happy New Year holiday season coming up. And just a quick note, our boys are winning by 20. So go Comets.
Build the statue. We'll move to item, I think it's 13, board commentary, and we'll start with Mr. Galvin.
Well, that was going to be my breaking news
Did you
update.
get your
Third quarter, yeah.
Okay.
We're into the fourth quarter now.
Right.
What an exciting time to be a Comet boys basketball fan, and those guys on the brink of matching their season win total from a year ago, 4 games into the season. That's pretty incredible. On that note, this Friday, girls 6 p.m., boys 7:30 p.m. home doubleheader against Fairfield. I think that's the first one of those we have this season. For us to host a GMC conference doubleheader. It would be awesome to see that gymnasium packed for both of those teams. And both of those teams have earned that sort of attention this season so far. I know I've really enjoyed over the years getting to follow some deep runs into the playoffs for our girls team, and I'm really excited for our boys team this year to be playing at the level they are with some of the early season wins they've had. So winter sports well underway. Got to go see a packed house at the high school natatorium this weekend. Mason hosted an invitational with dozens of teams from around Southwest Ohio, and always an exciting meet there. Bordering on a fire code violation every year with how many kids get packed in there and parents get packed in, but awesome to see our winter sports in full swing. And I also think not just winter sports, but winter activities, carrying forward. When I bump into kids and ask them, what are they into, what do they have going on this week or this weekend, I just love hearing about trips that they've gotten back from, a competition, somewhere else, whether it's with speech and debate or mock trial or some of the other activities we have going on. I know we've got Winter Guard program just got approved, and there's a lot of stuff going on, a lot of ways to get involved and plugged in. Another legacy of Connie's that we encourage kids and families to get plugged into the district. So just excited to close the year on a strong note, and also want to acknowledge for the Journey Day that we had on November 21st. I appreciate not just the staff and everybody that makes those possible, the families and the parents that go a little bit beyond just a normal off day and go to the trouble of opening the emails and scanning the QR codes and following the scavenger hunts and everything that it entails with making sure your kids are doing something that connects them with purpose and potential. And we love to hear about the ways that you take those and run with it. And we also are very appreciative of the staff that buys into this concept, that gives us not only their all and their full energy and attention to this, but then gives us meaningful feedback in ways that we can improve this and make it even better going forward. It is a constant iterative process, and it's something that I think our kids are benefiting from, and excited to see the next Journey Day, what that brings. So that's all from me for tonight.
Thank you, sir. Mrs. Becci?
Well, just a couple closing remarks for Connie. I think you should have taken your husband's advice on the sign. Everyone would have remembered that. But truly, it's been an honor to serve next to you, and you will be missed. And I really hope you stay connected with us, and we will continue to utilize your memories and your knowledge and wisdom in guiding our school. So thank you, and happy holidays and happy new year. This is the last time we'll be together before our reorganization meeting in January. So I hope everyone has an opportunity to relax and have some family time over the next couple of weeks and rejuvenate for the beginning of the year.
Vice President Steele.
Yeah, just quickly on the holiday help. Just thank you to all the people who put that together. Probably the most of which, almost said not the least of which, most of which is the Morans, and all that they do to coordinate. Thank you to everybody who stepped up to donate. As Tracy said, we're still not quite to the finish line, so Tracy wasn't saying it as it was more tactful, but money. If you're willing to donate money now to get us over the hump and contribute to this great need in our community, that would be fantastic. There's a slide. Where can you find the QR code?
If you don't want to grab it from the QR code, you can go to imaginemason.org, or you can go to our website, masonohioschools.com. You can actually donate through PaySchools or PayPal, and PayPal now has a feature that also is hooked into Venmo, so that makes it really easy. And the PayPal actually comes into Mason Schools, so you'll see those donations that are coming in. A lot of those are from folks who are donating.
Fantastic. Connie,
Thank you to Sean and his team for helping that.
Connie, again, you'll be missed. I'm so glad we had a chance to celebrate you and share this moment with you. We're all grateful for that. And just to our students and our staff, especially right now, we're at the first of two big sprints to the end. The sprint to the end of the first semester. December is very, very, very busy. Next week we have finals at the high school, right? And our teachers, we have a couple more weeks left of instruction. So just thank you for all you've done this whole year, to our staff, pouring into our students. Looking forward to a well-earned break for you all to at least take a breath after you're doing all this stuff for your families, after you stop doing stuff for our students in the classrooms for a minute. But just hang in there. A couple more weeks left, and good luck as we round the corner on this calendar year. And happy holidays to everybody. Can't wait to celebrate 2026 with everybody as we come back.
Thank you, Vice President Steele. You know, it's a weird space between like Thanksgiving and the end of the year. It's a lot of activity, so looking forward to no one shouted out Elegant Holiday, even though it's been sold out. Looking forward very much to going to see that this weekend, and the orchestra concerts that happened last week. So there's always some activity happening to try to usher in the spirit of the season. And so I think there's nothing more important than helping, if you can, others in this season. If you've been blessed with a lot, it is very helpful to bless others. So whether it's holiday help or finding some other way to help others in this time, because it's not always a happy time for everyone in this season. Just find a way, if you can, to share a hug, share a conversation. We have a lot of our alumni coming back in town from college. Hopefully they can get together and rebuild those bonds that they've had. But just to give a hug and a hi and see a familiar face can do wonders around the holidays. And so, as we have our own familiar face for over a quarter of a century, signing off from this desk, you will be missed. You have been valued, and your mark and legacy is indelible on this district, and we're all better for it. So you, ma'am, will get the last word in this last meeting of the year. The floor is yours, Mrs. Jingling.
Thank you, Mr. President. As I said earlier, this is a really bittersweet moment for me. I owe a huge debt of gratitude to the members of this community, the people that run this school district, and the board members that have worked side by side with me throughout all of those years. I have no regrets. The pleasure has been all mine, and I thank you all from the bottom of my heart.
Thank you. Now, because this will be her last vote, I will accept a motion to adjourn. Mr. Bevan, please call her name last.
You want to make the motion?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Let's see, Mr. Galvin,
Yes.
Mrs. Apache,
Yes.
Mr. Orr,
Yes.
Mr. Steele,
Yes.
Mrs. Yingling.
Yes.
5-0.